All right, so I've added a texture fill, and I erased it out selectively, and I warped it. And what's nice about that is you can layer them on top of each other. So I can make a duplicate of that texture fill and just thicken it up, and then erase more, should I want to. And you wonder, why did I do all this work if I'm just going to color it up with fog? Well, what you're choosing to cover up are the places that you don't want the eye to really be drawn to as much. So if I erase out everything where I want the eye to go, it's going to help lead the eye around and sell the illusion. But you're right, you can definitely overdo it. And it does help to kind of merge all the little contrast examples, especially in something like the sky, that tend to arise. And horizons and transitions between things, which are also often the part of composite landscapes where they fall apart, transitions between elements. So this helps. What does it look like without any of these texture fills? Well, it just looks all flat, right? So the texture fills really help to lead the eye around. Now, you don't have to use just one texture. You can bring in more. So here's another one I brought in. If I put it at 100%, this one's a little bit less abstracted, but matches what I want a little more. So I take its opacity down, and then immediately I know where I need to erase. I don't want that water texture on my rocks. But I don't mind it so much in the water. And I don't want the silhouette of trees there. But I don't mind how it wraps around the cliffside. And erasing is one way of blending, but there's also just, your basic opacity settings, and then also what's called the blending modes. So I can use soft light. That just really gently changes the colors a little bit. I can use pin light. And that will just affect the midtones, which is all helping. I could try using it just to lighten the existing image, or to darken it. So whatever works for your vision. I'm just going to keep it normal right now so I can really control it. But the thing I'm most worried about are kind of these toxic colors. So I might actually use it to darken a little bit. And then I just paint where I want there to be more light. All right, not paint, but erase away. Yeah. So those are a few ways you can use texture fills to really sell your composition. Get this band of light going. Now, if I wanted a big misty puddle right where the water was hitting, you can also do this. Take my overall texture fill and kind of cut out a shape of it. An organic shape, of course, and then duplicate that. Make it normal. And then either erase away from its edges or use your filter, blur, Gaussian blur, take away its focus. So this is a selected textural shape snaking through. So you can see how that might be useful. And then I can use dodge and burn on that selectively to brighten it up in spots. Keep it all soft, of course. Soft edges, low exposure. And to darken it in other spots. And then erase it where it's not appropriate. Gently erase. At a low opacity. And then of course I'm going to take the opacity of the whole thing. That's 100%, that's 50%, maybe I want it at like 20%. They're easy to overdo, but remember you can play with the opacity of each of them. And you can even colorize them. So I'm liking how all of this works. I think I need this one. But what if I took just that one, which kind of darkens everything, and I play with color balance on it? I can push the whole thing a little more green, the whole thing a little bit more magenta, the whole thing a little bit more red or cyan. It's like a glaze on a painting. I can give it a subtle color. This is basically coloring the mist. So instead of just a gray mist, now it's a pinkish mist. It's settling on everything. And you can see how it changes there. Pretty different. I'll set it on multiply. So many different settings you can try. Yeah, I think I like color burn actually. Nice. Okay, now I'm just looking for little areas that don't work. And this green still bugs me a little bit, so let me see if I can fix it directly instead of doing a color adjustment to the whole layer. There we are. Well, there's a lot of that temple behind it. I think I could still erase more. But I can also just select an area and then do a color adjustment just to the greens in the area I selected. So those greens are just too strong. So I'm gonna start by selectively erasing. And I'm getting pretty nitpicky now. Come on, stick with me. Remember, when your computer goes a little sluggish, smart to save it. And it often happens when you have a really large brush. All right. So very low opacity eraser can knock some of that back. But then I can also, once I know I'm on the right layer, just kind of select all those color edges and go to color balance. And work against those greens a little bit. Especially in the highlights. You see, that just helps to deepen that so it doesn't look so bright. Right. And if I'm unsure, I can always do a little with the texture fill in that area. So it kind of snakes around here, pours down the mountain. Duplicate that selection, Gaussian blur it. Play with its opacity, its shape, I'm racing with it. Try pin light on it. See, and that helps separate between the temple even without any erasing. And you can even do clone stamp with a texture fill area, as long as you have only current layer selected. So I can bring that mist around somewhere else. Make sure you have a soft brush though. All right. So my goal was to give this a little bit more dimension with texture fills. And I think I have accomplished that. Okay. Remember to save as a PSD first, and then save it as a JPEG to upload. I'm going to still keep my sketch in there, even though I have it turned off. But this texture fill layer, I don't need anymore, the one I'm not using. And it's just over a gig as a Photoshop file. But as a JPEG, we can make it much, much smaller. But that's just for online viewing, not for printing. This is the file we would always go back to for improving it and for printing it. All right, now we can save it as a JPEG to the desktop. And reduce it until it's under 5 megabytes. All right. And that will do it for those demos. So that's special effects extras you can add to your fantasy landscape. All that's left, uploading it to PhotoBucket.